Generation 9 Pokemon brought fans Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. While there might be some interesting little issues, overall the games are a ton of fun. But everyone can agree that there is one area in this game that was greatly upgraded. That area is shiny hunting. Now, most Pokemon players are not diehard shiny hunters, and that's okay. Spending hours of your life looking for slightly different pixels is not the most important thing in the world. But boy, oh boy, does it ever feel rewarding when you do find the shiny you're looking for. But arguably, the best shiny encounters aren't the random ones, because it's just that much better to find a shiny you weren't even looking for, and it requires no effort on your part. So that's pretty great too. In my own experiences in Pokemon Scarlet, I have been rewarded with an insane amount of full odds random shinies, but we're only going to talk about the first 8. Also, for most of these Pokemon, I forgot about the little button on the left Joy-Con that you can hold down for a couple seconds and record the last 30 seconds of the game. As such, I don't have recording of catching most of these shinies. And boy, do I wish I did for some of them. There's a first for anything. And while my first shiny in Scarlet wasn't my first ever shiny, that honor goes to Ruby, my shiny Persian in Pokemon Quest, it is still a very important one in my journey to become a full-fledged shiny hunter. Meet Windy. She is a shiny Jumpluff, though I caught her as a Hoppip. I vividly remember walking through the first area of the game and thinking to myself, my first shiny is going to be a Hoppip, isn't it? And it was. Definitely not the Route 1 shiny I would have preferred, but definitely not a bad one either. And she's super cute, so that helps. Everyone has a favorite Pokemon. Some you like because they look cool, and some just fall into your lap and end up being a lot cooler than you originally thought. This is my case for my second shiny Pokemon, and he has quite the story. This is Stressful. He is an icon in my playthrough team, and how he came to me is just sort of unbelievable. If you've played Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, you're probably well aware of the terrestrialization gimmick that was introduced. You're also probably aware of the wild Terra Pokemon, which terrestrialize on encountering them. But something you might not be aware of is that these Terra Pokemon can be shiny, and it can lead to some interesting encounters. Like trying to catch a shiny that's level 49 when your highest level Pokemon is only level 39 and has poison point against a Pokemon that's no longer poison type. I would try my hardest to both do enough damage to be able to break the terrestrialization, but also keep Stressful from getting poisoned. It took 3 separate attempts and giving my Clodsire a lot of experience candies, but I was finally able to catch him. Moving on from the first shiny that actually went on my team, we get to meet the other shiny that ended up hanging out with us. This is Surprise. Now I just want to mention that as we go along, these names are going to start to get weird. And while Surprise is a decent name, I just feel like you need to be prepared for some of these later ones. Surprise was literally the first Indeedee that ever spawned for me. She was a higher level too, but considering I didn't have to break a Terrastal for her, it was considerably easier than catching Stressful. She ended up being boxed for a little bit, but came back to fight both the Fairy and Fighting Team Star bases, because she wasn't weak to Fairy and would be good against Fighting. She was also either the first or second Pokemon of mine who reached level 100. Now pretty much all of my current and former team have hit level 100, but it's still exciting for a Pokemon to reach it. She's also done more than her fair share of raids for me, which is very helpful for grinding Urban Mystica. My next shiny hasn't really done too much for me since I caught him, but a shiny is a shiny, so he's going to get some time in the spotlight. Stressful doesn't get to hog all of it. This is Feather. He is a shiny Rookidee, and his job is to sit around and be cute. He does it pretty well, though. At least that's what I think. I almost mistook him for a Fido when I first saw him, but I figured out pretty quickly that he was not, in fact, the little bread dog, but a shiny Rookidee. And then my next shiny decided to come around less than 20 minutes after him, and was a Corvisquire. So she's a Corviknight now, of course. Of all the shiny Pokemon I could have found, I found 2 full odds random shinies from the same evolution line in 20 minutes. Her name reflects how I felt about the situation, and she's called Ridiculous. Yep, that's her name, and I'm not changing it. Remember when I said my names would get weirder as time went on? Well, this is one of the weirder ones. But I like that my shinies have odd names. Who else has a Corviknight named Ridiculous? My 6th and 7th shinies are also tied together, as like Feather and Ridiculous, they were found only a few minutes apart from each other. The first is Outbreak, a Fomantis I found while checking on a mystery outbreak, hence his name. He is so cute, and he's probably going to stay like this. As cool as Lurantis' shiny is, he's just too cute for me to want to change. The 7th shiny I found is a Sneasel I caught while running up Glaciato Mountain, and was just casually gliding over when she spawned in. This is what earned her the name of Overpass. Yep, these are going to be getting weirder and weirder. This last shiny for this video is also a really neat one, if I'm being honest, and probably one of my favorite shinies in Gen 9. But she also has probably the weirdest names of all my shinies, and I have 24 as of this video. This lovely shiny Lokix is named Well That Happened. Yes, spelled exactly like that. I had just booted up my game, and there she was, looking just as golden as ever. My first thought was, well, that happened, which became her name. I just ran out of space a little. Honestly, though, she's a sick shiny, and I probably would have hunted Lokix. I might still hunt Lokix. You can never have enough of a shiny you like. Now, at this point in the game, I was starting to shift my thinking. I had been getting a lot of shinies, yes, but I could do more. I could finish up the game, grind myself some Herba Mystica, and complete my Pokedex to get a shiny charm. And of course, I could get shinies while doing that. But that's a story for next time.